So today I'm listing every single pet in Taming.io from best to worst on an S tier list. If you want to see more content like this, then make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Anyways, let's hop straight into the video. So here we go, we have our S tier list. Basically, S plus means it's the best of the best, and then it goes down to F, which is worst. So basically, we're going to list out every single pet, all 53 right here, from best to worst. So, the armadillo, I feel like it's not the best pet, so I'm going to give it a B just because it's pretty average. The bat, also. The bear is not the best. I'll give it a D. Now, the black cat, that's really good. I'm going to have to go with an S. Black spider, that's also going to be an S as well. The boar, it's okay, but I haven't really used it much, so I'll just give it an A. Now, the bull, I don't think it's that good. Its ability isn't that good either. It just annoys me when they attack my fairies and stuff because they do a ton of damage, so I'm just going to give it a C. The camel, I don't think I've played with it much. I'll give it a C as well, because the ability's okay, but not too good. Now, the combat fairy, it's very good. Although it's not the most overpowered, I'm gonna have to give it an A. Actually, no, I'll swap. I'd use the combat fairy over the black spider. Now, the cow, it's cool, and its ability is cool, but it just needs to be really buffed. Right now, it's probably one of the worst pets, because it does no damage, and then dies really quickly. The deer is okay, but not good. Now, the dragon fairy, it's good, but its ability's slow, so it's only good if you combo it with the ice fairy, so I'm gonna have to give it an A. The dragon is really, really powerful, and its ability is really, really cool, but it's super slow in doing the ability, so I'll give it an A as well. Now, the Easter bunny, I think I've only used it a couple times. It's more of a defensive pet. I'm going to have to give it a B. It's basically like if you're using armadillo, except it's a rabbit with less health. Now, the new electric fairy, I haven't used it that many times. I don't think it's super, super powerful, but it's also really cool and does do some decent damage, so I'm going to give it an S. Now, the fennec fox is really good for killing bosses, but it's not good for much else, so I'm just going to give it a B. No, I'll give it an A. Fire fairy, it's okay. For some reason, I don't like the way it looks, so I'm just going to give it an A. The fox, it's good, but apparently I'm terrible with it, so I'll give it a B. The goldfish is terrible and so annoying to level up, and its ability when not leveled up is terrible, but when it's on boss stage, it's really, really good. So I'm going to give it an S for right now. Now, the horse, I don't like it too much. I feel like its ability is really underpowered. I'm going to give it a D as well. I'd rather use the camel over it, because at least the camel slows them down. Now, the ibex is like the knockoff brand of the goldfish. It's not very good, but it also looks really cool, so I'm going to give it a B. Now, the ice fairy, really, really powerful. It's got to be an S. An S plus, actually. The ice golem is good for defense, so I'll give it an S. The iceberg's really good too, but not super overpowered unless you have 3. Now, the living mushroom is good, but it's kind of large, so it's a little hard to handle 2 of them. I'll give it an A. Now, the lynx here, I like it, but it's more like a glass cannon, and since it only has 600 health, it can die with just like 4 bow shots, so I'm gonna give it a B. It's only good if you combo it with the water fairy. Now, the mammoth here, I think the mammoth is the pet with the most health. It's not super overpowered, but it is really, really good. My only thing I don't like about it is that the only weapon that's good with it is the naginata, which isn't the best. Let's see, the light fairy, I thought it was just like the repair fairy or something. Apparently, I've had the name wrong the whole time, but it's only good for repairing stuff. If we're getting raided, it really comes in clutch. But other than that, for attacking and all that, it's terrible, so I'll give it a C. The barn owl, it's okay, but not very good. I'd rather use like a lynx or ibex than the barn owl. So it gets a C. plant fairy, I'm not sure. I don't think I've used the plant fairy much. I think that it can regen health, but I'm not sure. And its ability, I just don't like the looks of it, so I'll give it a B. Now the poison fairy is really cool, but at least not yet. I don't think it's an S+, so I'll give it an S. Now the polecat is really, really cool. For some reason, I just really like the way it looks, and then its ability is really cool. And they're also fairly easy to find, and they also do a ton of damage to most of the bosses, so I'll give it an S as well. The rabbit is more like a support animal, I think. I haven't used it much, but I do know that it has low health, just like the rabbit. So we're gonna just give it a B. The rabbit is a little better though, because it provides a damage boost, and combo that with the Lynx, and you got possibly an insta-kill, so it's very, very good. So I'll give it an A. Now we have the regular rabbit. 3 of them, if you get caught when you're low on food, it's kind of dangerous, but not much else. It gets a D. Now the rat's kind of cool. It's tiny, so I have no idea why you can ride it, but it looks really cool to have a giant saddle on it. But its ability isn't the best because of the really small area. Another thing is that the boss rats always target my pets whenever I get near them, so that's kind of annoying. I'll give it a C though, but it's still okay, so I'll give it a C instead of a D. Now the raven, I don't think its ability does damage. Feel free to correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. So I'm going to give it a D. Now the reindeer is really, really good. It's actually one of the best animals for going fast because its ability lasts for so long, but it also does a ton of damage as well. And it's great to combo with the spear and just mow down people, so I'm gonna have to give it an S+. The rock fairy, I don't think is as good as the goldfish, but it's also a lot easier to level up, so I'll also give it an S. Now the sheep here, it's a hard decision. When you have 3 of them, it's really powerful, but they're kind of annoying to use since they're so large, and their ability never targets you when you actually want to have it target you. So I'm gonna have to give it a B. Now I think the skunk does the same exact thing as the polecat. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. But I just don't like the way it looks, so we're gonna give it a B. Now we got the polar bear. That's kind of a tough decision because I haven't really used the polar bear much. But I know that it's pretty bad, so it gets a C. Now, I'm not entirely sure, but I think this is the snow fox. I still can't tell the difference between the snow fox and snow wolf. I don't know why, but yeah, that's the snow fox. It's okay, especially if you're trying to lure people in with the 95% damage reduction when you're low with the ability trick, but it's not the most overpowered, so I'm gonna give it a C. The snow rabbit I don't like, but it's not like super terrible, so I'm gonna have to give it a D. The snow wolf, on the other hand, is really, really good, but it's kind of hard to use properly, especially since you can't move when they're doing their ability, so it only gets an A. Now here we go, the new Spectrum Fairy. This is really cool. It's probably one of the coolest looking pets, and I'm definitely going to give it an S+, just for looks. Now the Spectrum here, on the other hand, is kind of annoying because it doesn't do that much damage. This punch is cool, but overall it's not the best, so it only gets a B. Now we got the unicorn here, which is kind of like the reindeer, just not as good. But it can heal itself when it's doing its ability, so that earns it an A. Now the vulture here, it's okay, but it doesn't do that much damage, and you can't steal that much gold with it. Only 30k if you have 3 of them and get them to all target the same person, so it gets a D. Now the water fairy here, it looks kind of plain, but it is really, really useful, especially when you're using anything with low health, like a lynx, a polecat, any of those. It's really powerful, so it gets an S. The white spider here is an interesting case. It does quite a bit of damage, and it also heals, but I just don't like the way it looks, so it's going to get a C. Now we just have the wolf. I don't like the way it looks, and its ability is really underpowered, so it gets an F, same as the cow. Now the yellow scorpion is super, super annoying, especially in the desert. because there's so many boss scorpions just going around and they just swarm you. But other than that, the damage is okay, and it does look pretty cool, so it's going to get a C. So here we have it, guys. The best pets are the Ice Fairy, Reindeer, Spectrum Fairy. The ones that are pretty good but just not as overpowered are the Black Cat, Comet Fairy, Electric Fairy, Goldfish, Ice Golem, Iceberg, Mammoth, Poison Fairy, Polecat, Rock Fairy, Water Fairy. The A class are Boar, Dragon Fairy, Dragon, Fennec Fox, Fire Fairy, Living Mushroom, Rabbit, Snow Wolf, Unicorn. The B class are Armadillo, Rat, Easter Rabbit, Fox, Ibex, Lynx, Plant Fairy, Rabbit, Sheep, Skunk, and Spectrum. The C class are Bull, Camel, Light Fairy, Barn Owl, Rat, Polar Bear, Snow Fox, White Spider, and Yellow Scorpion. The D class are Bear, Deer, Horse, Rabbit, Raven, Snow Rabbit, and Vulture. And then the F class, which really should get a buff, are the Cow and the Wolf. Now, if there is a class below F, I would definitely put the Cow there, because the Wolf is a little bit better than the Cow, and I definitely think the Cow should get a major buff in the future. So here we have it, guys. We have the entire S tier list. Now, feel free to correct me in the comments if you think I should have put something in a different spot. This is just based on my personal opinion and how I've been able to use the pets. But that's pretty much all for the video, and I'll see you guys next time. If you want to see more great content like this in the near future, then make sure to hit that subscribe button. And also, I handpicked these 2 videos for you. You better click on one soon because the video ends in 3, 2, 1, goodbye!